limit sign where the road drops into town. Same old curve by the service station, same cracked shoulder running down. Most of the names have changed by now, most faces moved along, but the windows on that empty street still knew where I came from. The pharmacy sign was flickering, the diner light was blue. There was no one on the sidewalk, but it felt like something new. Like the town had kept a record in the glass and in the rain of a younger man who left here and came back wearing another name. There are lights in a town that knows you, even when nobody calls. In the storefronts after sundown, in the shadows on the walls. And I don't know if I belong here the way I used to do, but there are lights in a town that knows you. I pass the school and the water tower, the field behind the store, the place we used to park our cars and talk like we wanted more. Everything looked smaller, but it hit me twice as deep. How a town can hold your whole life even when it's half asleep. And I ain't saying it was perfect or that I'd go back again. There were reasons that I left here, there were roads I needed then. But some places don't release you, they just let you walk away. Then light up when you pass through like they knew you'd come someday. There are lights in a town that knows you, even when nobody calls. In the storefronts after sundown, and shadows on the walls. And I don't know if I belong here the way I used to do, but there are lights in a town that knows you. Maybe memory ain't only something carried in your chest. Maybe streets remember footsteps, maybe windows do the rest. Maybe every place that made you keeps a little proof in the glow above the pavement and the quiet telling truth. There are lights in a town that knows you, and Lord, I felt it clear tonight. In the diner sign, the old store glass, and the soft Main Street light. I don't need the past return now, I just needed something true. There are lights in a town that knows you. Lights in a town that knows you. Lights in a town that knows you. I just needed something true. I just needed something true. Lights in a town that knows you. Main Street after sundown looks smaller than it did. Same old brick, same faded awning. same cracks where we were kids. The hardware store shuttered, the barber pole don't spin, but there's still a little yellow where the diner light comes in. I drove it slow with no real reason, just let the engine idle low. Past the bank and the old drugstore, past the places we would go. There was nobody on the sidewalk, no crowd outside the game, but the windows held reflections of a life that knew my name. Main Street after sundown still carries what we were, in the glow behind the glass and the silence by the curb. And I don't need to be young again, I don't need that whole town, but I still feel it moving somewhere on Main Street after sundown. We used to lean against our cars there, talking big beneath the lights, like the whole world started Monday and belonged to us on Friday nights. There were girls in denim jackets, there were boys too proud to say that they were scared of getting older and leaving either way. Now the signs look tight and honest, and the streets don't ask for much, just a little bit of memory when the evening turns them soft. And I ain't saying I regret it, all the miles it took me out, but some roads lead you backward when you circle through downtown. Main Street after sundown still carries what we were, in the glow behind the glass and the silence by the curb. And I don't need to be young again, I don't need that whole town, but I still feel it moving somewhere on Main Street after sundown. Maybe every little town keeps a younger version near, in the alleys and the windows, in the lights that reappear. Maybe growing older means you learn to pass it slow, not to live there like you used to, just to thank it as you go. Main Street after sundown, and Lord, it hit me plain how the past don't always vanish, it just changes where it stays. And I don't need to take it with me, I don't need to turn around, but I'll leave a little part of me on Main Street after sundown. Main Street after sundown. Main Street after sundown. I'll leave a little part of me on Main Street after sundown. Diner sign still hums at night above the corner glass, red letters missing half their glow, but still holding on to that. I parked across the street a while, let the engine settle down, watched that little neon flicker like an old heart in this town. We used to take the back booth after games on Friday nights, 2 coffees split 4 different ways and everybody talking high. You draw circles on the napkin, I'd pretend not to stare, back when every little silence still had something waiting there. The diner sign still hums like it knows what used to be. All the names around that table, all the dreams we thought we'd keep. And I don't need those days returned, I just wonder where they went when the diner sign still hums like it remembers them. There's a new girl at the counter, and the menu's changed by now. The jukebox in the corner doesn't make the same old sound, but the coffee smells familiar, and the floor still shines too bright, like the past can find a doorway through a little restaurant light. Some of us went north for college, some stayed on and raised their kids. Some got lost in working doubles, some just disappeared from this. And I ain't saying we were golden or that time did us wrong, but something about that old sign makes the years feel like a song. The diner sign still hums like it knows what it used to be. All the names around that table, all the dreams we thought we'd keep. And I don't need those days returned, I just wonder where they went when the diner sign still hums like it remembers them. Maybe every little town has one light that stays awake for the ones who had to leave and the ones who couldn't change. Maybe memory ain't quiet, maybe it makes a sound in a neon sign still buzzing over coffee cooling down. The diner sign still hums, Lord, I heard it clear tonight, in the empty street reflection, in the soft red broken light. And I don't need to sit back down or be who I was then, but the diner sign still hums like it remembers them. The diner sign still hums, the diner sign still hums. Soft red broken light, the diner sign still hums. Water tower still stands there above the grocery store, with a town name painted faded like it's been there since before. Before we had our licenses, before the plant shut down, before half the kids we grew up with found a way to leave this town. It watched us ride our bicycles down streets too hot in June, watched our mothers call us home under that big orange moon, watched first trucks and first heartbreaks, watched the football lights come on, watched us swear we'd all get out, then watched some of us stay long. That's the water tower gospel written high above the fields, all the names, all the seasons, all the things a small town feels. It don't preach from any pulpit, it don't sing in perfect rhyme, It just stands there holding witness to the lives we leave behind. I parked beside the old school and looked up through the dark. Saw the tower in the distance like a lantern over parts of a life I barely noticed, till I'm standing there again, where every road I used to know still knows where I've been. And there are names scratched into bleachers that the weather almost took. There are stories in the sidewalks nobody put in books. And I ain't saying this town saved me, or that it always treated me right, but there's something like forgiveness in that tower catching light. That's the water tower gospel, written high above the fields. All the names, all the seasons, all the things a small town feels. It don't preach from any pulpit, it don't sing in perfect rhyme. It just stands there holding witness to the lives we leave behind. Maybe every town has scripture, not in pages, not in stone, but in rust and pain and distance and the places we outgrow. Maybe every road back through it is a hymn we didn't know, till the past starts rising over us in that old familiar glow. That's the water tower gospel, and Lord, I heard it clear tonight, in the faded town name shining under one soft county light. I don't need to go back younger, I don't need to stop the time, but that tower still holds witness to the lives we leave behind. Water tower gospel, water tower gospel, still holding witness Friday nights under field lights, cool air coming in, old trucks lined by the fence road, everybody piling in. There was dust out by the parking lot and denim on the seats, and the whole town seemed to gather where the grass met cleats. We didn't know the names would scatter, didn't know the years would run. Thought the world began at kickoff and ended when the game was done. You were laughing by the bleachers with your jacket pulled up tight, and I was trying to look older in that soft October light. Friday nights we thought wouldn't last, like headlights on a two-lane pass, like radios loud and windows down, like nobody ever leaves this town. And I don't need those days back now, but I still feel them when I pass those Friday nights we thought would last. Afterward we hit the diner, crowded booth and coffee steam, everybody talking bigger than the lives we'd ever seen. Somebody had a cassette playing, somebody had a plan, somebody Everybody said they'd leave by summer with the whole world in their hands. Now the stadium lights look smaller and the parking lots repaved. There are kids out there on Friday wearing numbers, chasing names. And I ain't saying we were golden or that nothing hurt back then, but there was something in believing we had time to start again. Friday nights we thought would last, like headlights on a two-lane pass, like radios loud and windows down, like nobody ever leaves this town. And I don't need those days back now, but I still feel them when I pass those Friday nights we thought would last. Maybe youth is just a season that don't tell you when it goes. One night you're singing with the window down, next thing everybody's grown. And maybe every little town keeps one evening burning bright for the ones who had forever, for at least one Friday night. On Friday nights we thought would last, and Lord, I see them clear at last, in the field lights, in the old store glass, in the faces time let pass. And I don't need to be that young, but I'm thankful that I had those Friday nights we thought would last. Those Friday nights we thought would last. Friday nights we thought would last. I'm thankful that I had those Friday nights we thought would last. Old store glass on Main Street still catches evening light. Faded signs in the window, half gone from weather and time. I saw myself there walking past the hardware and the bank, a little older in the reflection than the boy this town still thinks. There were fingerprints on the doorway and dust along the frame, a sale sign from last summer still hanging there the same. I stopped outside the window where we used to meet after class and watched the years move through me in that old store glass. Old store glass, showing me who I've been, a man out on the sidewalk and a boy still looking in. And I don't need to go back there, I don't need to ask why the past still finds my face in old store glass. We used to check our hair there before Friday night began, straighten collars, fake our confidence with car keys in our hands. Now the street is almost empty and the lights are coming on, but the window holds a picture of a life not fully gone. And I ain't saying I regret it, all the years that carried me, but there's something about a storefront that lets two versions meet. The one who thought he'd leave for good, the one who found his way back past, both standing there together in that old store glass. Old store glass, showing me who I've been, a man out on the sidewalk and a boy still looking in. And I don't need to go back there, I don't need to ask why the past still finds my face in old store glass. Maybe every town keeps mirrors where the years don't line up right, where your younger heart comes walking through a little window light. And maybe growing older means you learn to let him pass, and thank him for surviving in that old store glass. Old store glass. And Lord, I saw it clear. Every road that took me out still somehow brought me here. And I don't need the old days, but I'm grateful that they last long enough to meet me softly in old store glass. Old store glass. Old store glass. Long enough to meet me softly in old store glass. There's a field past the railroad where the fairground used to be. Just grass up through the ground and a rusted chain link seam. No Ferris wheel turning slowly, no ticket booth inside, just the wind across an empty lot at the edge of town. But I can still smell funnel cakes and diesel in the air. Still see the paper bracelets on everybody there. Kids running past the game booths, mothers calling names, and every little colored light making summer feel the same. Where the fairground used to be, I can still hear the music play, still see your face in the midway lights, like it never went away. And I know it's just an empty field, just weeds and memory, but the town still sounds alive somehow where the fairground used to be. We rode that old wheel one summer till the whole town looked small. You laughed when we got stuck up high, like we might never come down at all. There were prizes nobody needed, cheap rings and plastic stars, but we held them like they mattered, walking back toward the car. Now the county stopped the fair there, must be 15 years or more. They moved it out by the highway near the tractor supply store. And I ain't saying they were wrong to, time changes what it must, but some places lose their purpose and still keep all the dust. Where the fairground used to be, I can still hear the music play, still see your face in the midway lights, like it never went away. And I know it's just an empty field, just weeds and memory, but the town still sounds alive somehow where the fairground used to be. Maybe joy leaves echoes too, not just sorrow, not just pain. Maybe laughter has a way of staying in a place Maybe every small town heart keeps one summer underneath, in the grass, in the lights, where the fairground used to be. Where the fairground used to be. Lord, I felt it clear tonight, how an empty place can still hold sound, and an old field still hold light. And I don't need the fair back now, I just needed to believe that those nights were really living once. Where the fairground used to be. Where the fairground used to be. Where the fairground used to be. Those nights were really living once. Where the fairground used to be. Church a lot in the evening, gravel quiet underfoot, white paint on the chapel, going soft against the woods. No Sunday cars lined bumper deep, no children running late, just a little wind through the oak trees and a half-closed iron gate. I remember all those mornings, shirts tucked in and hair combed down, Mama's talking by the steps, Daddy's leaning, looking proud. Somebody always knew your family, somebody always asked how your folks were doing lately, like the years had not gone fast. Church a light in the evening holds more than empty space. It keeps the sound of old hellos in every weathered face. And I don't know if I came here for forgiveness or believing. I just needed somewhere quiet, church a lot in the evening. There were hymnals in the backseat, peppermints and Sunday hands, kids drawn in the bulletins, not old enough to understand. And after service in the sunlight, everybody took their time, like the whole town had a minute before the week began to climb. Now the windows catch the sunset and the bell don't make a sound, but I can almost hear the old folks talking low and gathering round. And I ain't saying I was holy or that I knew what grace could mean, but some places make you softer when you stand where you have been. Church a lot in the evening holds more than empty space. It keeps the sound of old hellos in every weathered face. And I don't know if I came here for forgiveness or believing. I just needed somewhere quiet, church a lot in the evening. Maybe faith is in the building, maybe faith is in the names, maybe it's the way a small town keeps showing up the same. Maybe every heart gets older and comes back needing proof that something stood here steady while the years were moving through. Church a lot in the evening, and Lord, I felt it there, in the dust behind the tires and the stillness in the air. I don't need the old days back now, I just needed to see them leaving softly in the twilight. Church a lot in the evening, 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 twilight. Church light in the evening. Church light in the evening. The barber shop lights still glow on the corner after dark. One warm square in the window, one soft place on Main Street's heart. There's an old chair by the mirror, chrome worn down to gray, and a bell above the doorway that still sounds the same old way. I remember going in there with my father by my side, too young to like the Clippers, too proud to let that show. Old men talked about the weather, work the mill and football scores, and everybody knew your family before you crossed the floor. The barber shop light still burns against the night, like a little room of memory, holding on to what time hides. And I don't need to sit back down or be that bored tonight, but I still know where I came from in the barber shop light. There was powder on the counter, aftershave in the air, a stack of magazines from years ago, and somebody always there. The man who cut my daddy's hair cut mine until I left. He'd say, "You look just like him, son," and I'd laugh under my breath. Now there's new paint on the window and a younger man inside, different names in the waiting chairs, different trucks parked by the sign, but the light still has that feeling, like the town remembers how to hold a man's old story without speaking it out loud. The barber shop light still burns against the night, like a little room of memory, holding on to what time hides. And I don't need to sit back down or be that bored tonight, but I still know where I came from in the barber shop light. Maybe every small town keeps one chair for who you were, one mirror where your father's face still comes back through yours. Maybe growing older means you pass the window slow and thank the little places that knew you long ago. The barber shop light, and Lord, I saw it clear tonight, in the mirror, in the window, in that warm familiar shine. I don't need the years returned, I don't need to make them right, but I still feel my name remembered in the barber shop light. The barber shop light. Barber shop light. I still feel my name remembered in the barber shop light. Drove back through the middle, where the old stores face the street, Past the diner, past the church lot, past the place we used to meet. The lights were softer than I remember, the roads were smaller than before, but every corner had a way of opening one more door. There's a water tower standing with a town name wearing thin. There's a barber shop still glowing where the old men used to sit. There's a field where the fair was. There's a window full of dust. There's a main street after sundown still holding all of us. Some towns don't forget, even when the people do. They keep your younger shadow in the places you walk through. And I don't need to go back, I don't need what's gone, but some towns don't forget the life you carried on. I saw myself in the store glass, not the man I am today, but the boy with summer in his hands and too much left to say. I heard laughter by the diner, though the sidewalk stood alone. Some memories don't make noise till you finally come back home. And I ain't saying it was perfect, no town ever really is. There were dreams we had to bury, there were roads that had to give, but there's mercy in a place that doesn't ask you to explain. It just lights up after dark and lets you feel your name. Some towns don't forget, even when the people do. They keep your younger shadow in the places you walk through. And I don't need to go back, I don't need what's gone, but some towns don't forget the life you carried on. Maybe memory ain't only in the heart or in the mind. Maybe it lives in storefronts and old county signs. Maybe every life leaves something on the streets it had to leave. And maybe coming back is how you learn what still believes. Some towns don't forget, Lord, I know that now. In the faded neon diner and the church light quieted down, I didn't find my old life waiting, but I found proof it was real. Some towns don't forget what the years can't steal.